Alright, welcome back to SOS. I'm Stats Arm Badass, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a water filter. And doing this indoors, it's just easier. I have a table, and I can show you all the items that I have here. So, I have some very nasty water, if you can see that. This is stagnant water from a puddle outside. And I'm already starting to get a lot of funk built up in the bottom here. Just from getting there. It's got some nice little yucky floaties right there at the top. Alright, but we're going to fix that. We're going to make that clean so that we can drink it. Now, I went ahead and got, I've got a couple of these. These are just some regular water bottles. You can use 2 liter, any size, it doesn't matter. You can even use jars like this if you need to. But you'll need something like this to be able to cut to make a filter. So you'll need at least one of these. And I went ahead and got 2. I'm going to need some water for this so I can show you this sand. Now, those of you might ask, where do I get sand from? This still got all the funk in it. I had the kids gather this up for me. But here's a clip from where we got the sand. Okay, so we're at the lake and here's sand. There's your sand right there. So we spend a lot of time outdoors, and there's plenty of lakes and streams around here that we could get water from if we needed to. For today, I'm going to show you guys how to build a filter. Now, first off, let's get to this. Right, this is important. Most people don't know this. So, I'm going to dump this out. But I gathered this. I've got some already crushed over here. I've been crushing. But I wanted to show you this. This is a charcoal. And to get charcoal, you could use... if you wanted to get some really hardcore charcoal, you could put some in a metal tin and put the metal tin in, in a fire or something like that. Or if you don't want to do that, you could just gather it out of the fire pit. You don't have to get fancy with it. Some folks think you've got to get crazy, but you don't. This is just straight from our fire pit, and you can see. Let's just how easy that breaks apart. And it's already starting to get charcoal all over me. So I'm going to need to crush this some more. All right. I want to make a fine powder. You want it to be a fine powder like this. And I've got some rocks to add to the top of this, but we're going to need some smaller rocks, some smaller pebbles. And how I get the smaller pebbles is from the sand. The sand still has all the funky stuff in it. You can leave that in there if you want, but yeah. There's a lot of grassy stuff in there. But you can see there's some pebbles in there, and I got to get those out. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add some water to this. Now, you're going to have ugly water like this anyway. So if you're already working with water nearby, you're going to have access to some water. So just stir it around. So I want to separate the pebbles from the sand. And I just need to find a place to get this nice mixed up here. And once I start to drain this off, I'll start to separate some of the funk. There's a lot of that funk out of there. Now I'm starting to get some of the pebbles. And you'll have to do this a few times so that you can get all of your pebbles out. So there's our pebbles. You want to get all the little pebbles out, so you'll have some pebbles. Now I've got most of the funky out of my sand. I've got my spoon for my sand. Set that to the side. And I've got my leftover smaller rocks in with my bigger rocks, which I can separate those just by kind of shaking, and all the smaller rocks will fall to the bottom if I need them, and then just kind of take the bigger rocks out. Anyway, there's that. Now I have to crush this up, and this is charcoal. To make charcoal, like I said, is just for the fire pit. I'm just going to use my piece of wood here. And you just continue this process all the way around. I'm going to do it on a paper plate. I could do this outside on a stone or whatever you want to do it on, but it's the same process either way. And it starts to get really fine. You can see there. It doesn't take long, and it starts to break up really fine. And you're just going to continue this process until you get more powder, which I already have some there. And I know I don't want to cheat. I want to show you guys, so I'm showing you. Just like this. Anyway, now I'm going to finish crushing this. Be careful with this stuff. It's just messy. That's the only problem, that you got some serious mess. It'll get all over the place, so you got to be careful with it. I'm going to mix this real quick. Since I got one just a little bit crunchier than the other, but I want to go ahead and mix it up so it's nice and neat. Just go ahead and get this together. All right. Now that I've got my charcoal, and I've got my sand, and I've got my rocks. That's pretty much the gist of it, and that's pretty much what you need. Now you could use a shirt, you could use a bandana, and let's just go ahead and put that in there. I'm using just a regular knife because I'm assuming in a survival scenario, this thing wants the funky stuff still floating to the bottom. It's pretty yucky. Alright, so here, here, cut this off. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just going to cut the bottom. So you're in a survival scenario, and all you got is one of these cheap little razor blades. That's more than enough razor blade. Alright, and then the bottom of this, I'm going to use, you could use a paper towel. I left a paper towel out here so I could show you, but you could use a paper towel. You could use a coffee filter. You could use a triangular bandage. I figured I would share. You could use gauze, I mean, if you needed to, right? And I'm just going to fold, and I'm going to stuff that in there. Well, I guess I don't need to pull it. Just go ahead and open it. So, there we go. Like that. I gotta get it in an angle so that it will cling to the walls. There we go. Just get that in there. So just using that to catch everything else. Now I can go ahead and start dumping in my charcoal. There we go. I'm going to make a big mess now. It's just to help hold this in. Some of it's going to seep out. It's alright. All that charcoal in there. Let's see if I can't just dump the rest of it in there. Yep, I'm making a mess. It's good. Look at that mess. Oh well. Sippy's gonna kill me. It's cool. And we have paper towels. Alright, so there's that. My funky mess. Now we're going to add our sand. Just go ahead and scoop up this yucky mess. Bloop. Zoop. Zoop. Now I might want to hold this. Trying to layer it. Now what I'm going to do next, so I don't end up with a bunch of craziness here, I could do all kinds of fancy stuff, but you come here. Where you came from? Get in there. All right. And then there's paper towels. All right. Now, so this doesn't run around and get crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and add another coffee filter. And I'm gonna add some rocks. You can build your filter how you like. This is how I'm doing mine. Now, I know the angle. I'm going to cut off the excess. You can do this however you like. You don't have to do it the way I do it. And like I said, you don't have to do it like I do it. Get back in there. Alright. Now, in there. Helps if I have a sturdy base, but you can see this thing just moves all over the place. Alright. Fill her up. Pack her down. Use my cap. Hold the contents in place so I can get it nice and firm. Now I've got all 3 layers. So I've got I've got the coffee filter here. It's gonna get stuck to this eventually. Then I've got my sand, and I've got my pebbles and larger rocks, which is kind of a mix. So now that I've done all that, let's go ahead and cut another one of these. Let's cut this one here. Dump this in here. Hey, I make this stuff fun, and it should be fun. And if it looks messy, it's messy. It's supposed to be fun. All right. People always like watching me do this stuff because they like seeing me like screw up stuff, like drop something, or it's just kind of what I've always done since I've been doing this stuff on the channel. You see me in real life, in real time, doing something. And let's bring this over here. All right, moment of truth. You guys ready to see if this is going to work or not? Oh man, here we go. Just going to easily fill it up. It's soaking it up now. Let gravity do the rest. Oh yeah. All right, so this is probably going to take a while. I don't picture this just running straight through, so it's going to take time. There it goes. Now it's starting to drip. There we go. You guys, I'll bring you down so you can see Just go ahead and crank. Now you have a working water filter. How many gallons will it do? And I'm assuming until it doesn't do anything anymore, but I wouldn't take any chances with it. The top portion of this, I'll bring you up so you can see, it's going to catch all your yuckies. Let me bring you in. It's going to catch all your yuckies up in that rock as the water falls. It's going to catch all those yuckies, the big chunky funky stuff. So that's what the top part's for, and then the rest will filter through. And it's going to take some time, so I'll have to. Okay, so let's just move this over here. It has it's kind of a, it's got a little bit of charcoal dust on here, so it's got kind of a bluish tint to it. Have you look down in there? Kind of a bluish tint. You can see, so it, like I said, same thing, still got the bluish tint you just looked at, right? And it went from that to this. So if I drink this and I don't make any more videos for a while, you guys know I love you. Oh man, I'm gonna regret this. All right, let's give it a try and see how it tastes. Here, let me turn you up. There it goes. Here's me drinking yucky water. Not bad. Tastes like regular water. Wait a minute. Oh, maybe that's the charcoal. Nope. Nope, nothing unusual. Tastes like water. That's pretty much it. Nope, nothing unusual. All right, that's me making a water filter, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I don't get sick and puke everywhere. Anyways, you're watching SOS. That's About Us. Have a beautiful, fabulous, fantastic day. Cheers. Take care.